Well, hello, and welcome to the HR After Hours and Bubbler podcast Holiday Mashup. This year, we're revisiting Hanna's holiday party etiquette before Mick and Kerri get into an interesting discussion regarding holiday decorations, followed by a festive epilogue we think you'll truly enjoy. Hanna, the Mrs. Claus to my Santa, the Rudolph to my reindeer. Are you ready to break into some carols and talk holiday party etiquette?
I am great. And, certainly I don't know how I feel about that. I would need to do a little bit of practicing, but I think that sounds fun. What are your thoughts on the old holiday party?
It's a slippery slope.
Hmm.
It's tricky if you're the employer
Sure.
because it's like if you don't do something like that, you're not creating a fun culture or rewarding your teammates. But then sometimes when you throw one, nothing's never enough, or
Hmm.
you're always afraid that one person's going to do something to put their job in jeopardy that you don't want to lose. It's never the people you want to lose, which doesn't make sense because usually you think the people that, have a foot out the door are the ones that are going to act up at the holiday parties, but they somehow seem to be the ones that are on their best behavior. It's always the one person you're like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. And it's funny. We're a little late on this topic, but I think we're actually going to get it into if we can save one hapless soul, it's
Mm.
worth covering this topic, is the way I look at it. But I just had a buddy of mine, Tequila Tom, call me this morning, and he said that he made a complete horse's ass of himself at the holiday party, and he doesn't even remember how he got home. So he's
Ooh.
sure he's here it is Sunday morning, and he's spend the next 24 hours getting sick to his stomach trying to figure out if he is going to be in trouble when he gets into the
Mm.
office tomorrow. And none of us enjoy that feeling, that's for certain.
But I feel like there's something special in that if you throw a really great holiday event, people remember it and people are grateful for it. Make sure if you're a company that pays out bonuses, this does not dip into your bonus fund.
Sometimes I believe everyone just kind of forgets that the whole point
Hmm.
of office parties is to reward employees and
Yeah.
improve morale, right? And that's a great opportunity to get to know people that maybe you're hoping to have more business interaction with in the
Yeah.
future. You ever have that one person that it could help you move forward in your career, but for some reason, anytime you almost have an opportunity to spend some time with them,
Hmm.
something always comes up, so you don't get that chance to
Right.
prove yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, don't overdo it. No one likes an office suck up at the holiday party. I mean, I've been
No.
trapped in the corner by that young, eager beaver who wants to work his way up or her way up and wants to tell you everything they've done in the year. And I'm just like, hey, man, let's just all have a good time. But,
Yeah.
maybe we should have lunch sometime, or I appreciate it. That sounds like a good thing we can discuss January 3rd or 4th. I don't know. It's one of those where I think it's a missed opportunity for a lot of people to really show them that they can be social and professional and carry themselves well. And I think typically what we do remember are the people that act stupid or bring the lampshade to the party instead of their etiquette. So we should probably cover a couple do's and don'ts. What do you think?
Yeah. Sure, let's talk about it. I think, you brought up, I'll go ahead and kind of tie it up into a little package, a holiday package. One
That's
of the
what
ones
she
you brought
said.
Oh gosh. So one of the ones that you discussed, and I think it's important, is when you're at a holiday party, yes, get an opportunity to talk to people in different departments and interact with those who you don't normally interact with. And even if it's somebody who is higher up on the chain of command, where you can really get some good FaceTime in and have a good discussion. So, this is a good opportunity to talk to people that you normally don't talk to on a regular basis. And maybe if you have a larger company, or maybe there's people who are flying in from other locations, really utilize this time to interact with people that you don't normally talk to. It's really easy, especially for people who are probably a little bit more introverted and shy, to just stay with the people that they normally talk to on a daily basis, but get outside your comfort zone and build some relationships outside of your department or outside of your team. I think that that's a do that everyone should follow.
Absolutely. The key to having a successful interaction with someone when you want to get a chance to introduce yourself, see if they're aware of you or whatever it is just to come in introduce yourself, say, hey, it's great to put a face to the name, or hey, I know we've only been on a couple conference calls together, but come in, introduce yourself. If you already know them, just highlight some things that you've really thought they did that was outstanding this year, or something that interests you. If there's a project coming up that you're interested in, but make it short and sweet. I have
Yes. Don't
found that the
spend too
more,
much time on work.
oh, oh man, I'll tell you, I have found that I am outstanding in small doses, but the longer I stay and talk to you, it's just inevitable that I'm gonna fucking say something and piss you off, right? So I gotta go in, I gotta say, hey, Hannah, I really thought your team did an outstanding job on dealing with that case in Chicago over this, yada, yada, yada. Love to pick your brain sometime if you get a chance. Exchange a couple pleasantries and then say, hey, well, listen, I know you got a lot of people that want to talk to you today. I'm going to go make my rounds as well. Make sure that we touch base after the end of the year, blah, 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 and get the hell out of there before you do something extremely stupid.
Absolutely. And that brings up another good point, especially if you're in a leadership position, make sure that you take the time to do the rounds and hit the various tables and interact with everyone on your team. I think it's everyone always appreciates that little extra time with the leader. So do make sure that you do the rounds, especially before you've had a couple of cocktails, or maybe you're a lot of fun with a couple of cocktails and you want to wait until then to do those rounds. Certainly make sure that you're interacting with your entire team and appreciating the hard work that your team did this year, because again, I think part of the holiday party, it's towards the end of the year, so it's a great time to celebrate congratulating people on their hard work.
That is a great point. Believe it or not, sometimes I can be a little shy. I'll migrate to the people I'm comfortable with,
Mhm.
and I have to be prodded to go and interact with those that I just don't know that well.
Right.
And for me, and this is, I'm going to kind of segue this and throw the next question at you. In the past, a great thing to do to get over that fear or that social anxiety is, oh yeah, I got a couple drinks in me now. I'm loose. I can go talk. I have
Mhm.
found that that's a slippery slope and very dangerous. And I actually don't drink at holiday events at all.
Sure.
What are your thoughts about that? The rules as far as alcohol consumption, teetotaling, etc.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, because I'm also in your school of thought of, I'll have one. I'll usually limit myself to one drink, and of course, people pointed out, oh, you're not drinking, or oh, you're just gonna have one. But I am more comfortable if I've had 0 to 1 drinks at a work event, partially being that I am human resources, and and I tell people that they're like, oh, that totally makes sense. I think it depends on the person. Where I think if there's people out there who aren't good at knowing when to say when, and then they should make the decision of watching out for the number of drinks they have. And then there's people who are totally comfortable, know their limits, can have know what they can have, and still be able to be professional and hold themselves in a good way. So I'd say just knowing yourself and making decisions around that. But again, I prefer to keep it from 0 to 1 drinks at company events, being that I am HR, and just that's what I prefer to do. I'm not one who I don't enjoy getting hangovers. I don't enjoy feeling like shit the next day. So I'm going to drink one cocktail and then enjoy some water the rest of the night.
You know what I tend to do as well, because you do always have those younger people that they think that the fun thing to do is to get the boss or the
Mm-hmm.
HR manager to loosen up at the
Oh
party,
yeah.
shots or whatever. I'm not embarrassed of the fact that I don't tend to drink at these type of events, or
Mhm.
I really don't
Same.
at all. Sometimes if I know that, I've had the week leading up where like, oh, we can't wait to
Mm-hmm.
see you cut it up at the party. We've heard you're a legend. Rrr. And I was like, yeah, 20 years ago. But what I do is I'm a soda and
Mhm.
lime guy at the
Yeah.
holiday parties. Is that a drink? I don't know. Maybe it is, but no one's gonna come up and go, "What are you drinking there, sport?" And if they are, I'm gonna say, "Ooh, hey, why are you so concerned with what I'm drinking?" I did have that backfire once because as you've seen me, when I just drink liquids
Mm.
nonstop. And so I was drinking soda water and a lime at a party, but I was just thirsty, and I
Mm.
had, like, 6 or 7, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, man, you've been really slamming them down. Do you
Slow
need
down.
an Uber or something?" And I'm like, guys, I'm drinking soda and
Yeah.
lime." And they're like, "Sure you are, Mick, wink, wink." And I mean, like, no one believed me, and I'm like, "No, really, I this is seriously, that's what I had, club soda with the lime." They're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, okay, we
Well,
won't tell your wife either."
well, that brings me to the next good point. Open bar, don't take it as a challenge. If your company has an open bar, it's not a challenge to see how much you can drink. Again, just take it easy, pace yourself. Same, I guess same for food, but I'd say people are, having too much to eat is just going to make you tired, but having too much to drink, it might help you make bad decisions. So again, the open bar's not a challenge.
Speaking of bad decisions,
Mm,
I think you will agree 100% with me that the company holiday party is not the best time to tell the person that you've had a crush on for so long how you really feel about them, especially if you think you should go to the bar before and have a couple drinks before you do that.
yeah,
It can go
yeah,
terribly awry. Actually, I don't think it ever goes well.
yeah.
I've never seen someone walk up to that person they've had a crush on, tell them, and the other person go, "Oh my gosh, I feel the same way. Let's go make out." Or if they do make out, it's in front of everyone, so that's not going well either.
Correct.
Let's so a couple things. A, don't declare your long lost love to anyone at the holiday party.
Good,
And B,
good tip.
if you have the opportunity or someone declares their long lost love for you, not the best place to play grab ass in front of everyone. We don't need to see that.
Yeah, take that to the bar across the street or someplace else. Yeah, certainly that's not the right place to have that type of interaction because let's get real, if it's your office party, people are going to see it, people are going to talk about it, and that honestly, that can be a morale killer. And now I'm getting serious again, but in my many years in HR, I've seen where, somebody made a bad decision at an office party and then people started talking about it and gossiping about it. And gossiping can be disruptive, it can be distracting, and it can hurt the morale of the people that you're talking about. So just any type of love declaration for a fellow coworker, wait till you're sober or take it someplace else.
Take it outside, you two. But if you do want to declare your love for anything, make sure that you find whoever put the party together and tell them what a wonderful
Yeah.
job they did, how much you love the food or whatever it is, or what the place they selected. But it's always a great idea to make sure you swing by the host who put it together, to your boss, thank them for the party on your way out, or if you get a second to just some brief FaceTime with them, say, tell them how much you appreciate them hosting the event because it does give everyone a chance to interact. And that's one of the things you love about this company is the people.
Mhm.
So you can get a little suck up points in there without being the office bore. Uh, Speaking of office bore, keep work talk to a minimum. Now, if your
Yeah.
supervisor or boss wants to ask you a couple questions about a project, you better answer them. They're not the one you want to say, "Hey, let's not discuss work at this, shall we?" And that's not a smart move. But I mean, you
Mhm.
definitely you're not going to make any great business moves at the
No.
holiday party. Shine with your personality, but don't be a suck up.
Yeah. Gotta figure out what that line is because showing gratitude is an appropriate response, but going over the line of suck up mode, nobody wants to experience that. So certainly you can show your gratitude, but don't go beyond it and turn into that suck up. So I totally think that's great holiday party advice.
Can you think of any holiday party disasters or successes that you've been around? Anything that stands out for you?
Well, like I said, my recent company party I think was a big success because everyone had a great time. There were no embarrassing gaffes or anything like that. And people were talking about it the next week at work, saying that they really had a great time, thought it was a great party. So I'd say that I recently experienced a success, and I think part of it was we went off site and went to a nice restaurant. It wasn't super formal, but it certainly was a nice restaurant, so it was a nice atmosphere, and I think that helps people not get out of control versus like, hey, let's have a party at a dive bar where it's normal and comfortable to get out of control. So that might have been part of it, but it was I'd say that was a success story. It's been a number of years since I've experienced or seen bad behaviors at a holiday party. So I would say just our tips are good ones. And I've got one additional tip, which this is something that happened at a previous holiday party, and it's that make sure that when you're using the restroom, it's a restroom and not a potted plant in the lobby of the location.
Welcome to Bubla.
Hello and welcome to Bubbler Podcast. Bubbler Podcast is committed to providing water cooler conversations to make you the life of the break room and the office party. Kerri, the jingle to my jangle. How the heck are you this fine wintry day?
Oh my goodness, joy to the world and fa la 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 la, jingle all the way. I'm so excited. It is the most wonderful time of year.
I loved, obviously, the holidays as a kid, but I am at that point now where I really get excited about the holidays. My kids are grown and out of the house. I'm a grandparent now, so I get to buy gifts like drums and things like that that are not kept at my own house. So, I mean, this
Awesome.
holiday is the friggin' best. Am I right?
Yes, I love the holidays. Mine is a teenager, so there's a little bit of a transition from the Santa phase into all of the labels and go from the $100 gift list to the $10,000 gift list. So,
But it's fun
it's
though, right?
fun.
Because these are
Absolutely, totally
because
fun.
you're a pretty hip mom, so I mean, you actually are now buying things for your daughter that you probably think are cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I would imagine it's
absolutely.
a good
Yeah.
time.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And we get to see our families and we do some traveling. So it's just a really fun time of year. And today, actually, we're doing some stuff around our city. So we're going to do a light parade and all sorts of fun, like old timey Christmas things, which really gets me in the spirit.
Kind of where I wanted to head with our conversation. So let's jump right in there. Let's talk decorations. The first two things I'm going to ask you, when do you put your decorations up? And do you go full on Clark Griswold? Are you a total Scrooge bah humbug or somewhere in the middle?
I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I was a traditionalist. We didn't put up the tree until the day after Thanksgiving. Typically, I hosted Thanksgiving. It was a family event that we would do right after, put up the tree, do my mantle, put up any lights, all that kind of good stuff. So we're pretty much decked out at this point. I don't think I would call myself a Griswold, but I wouldn't call myself a Grinch either. I don't have a lot of space outside. My decorations outside are very demure, nothing crazy.
Talk about outside. Everyone has a different palette to work with, whether you're in an apartment and you're doing things with your windows or if you're at a house in your lawn. Do you go with multiple colored lights? Do you do
Oh, no.
white lights? What do you rotate? What's your vibe on that?
I think I saw a meme the other day that said, you always marry the person who has a different style of either white lights or colored lights. Why does your husband always want the colored lights? Growing up, I remember my mom was always a white light only. We had a neighbor across the street. Oh my God, they were Griswolds and they lit up the neighborhood. We used to call it Eat at Joe's because I think they literally had a neon sign on the front of their house. It was wild. You could have seen it from space. It was unbelievable, but it was all colored lights. And then my mother would have the candles in the window and maybe a couple of, front bushes all decked out in the white lights, very traditional and simple. So I've kind of carried that over. I do have a 12-foot tree that I haven't been able to take down all year. So that's been been up all year. I didn't turn the lights on until after Thanksgiving, so I hope your wife will be pleased that I didn't really celebrate Christmas until after Thanksgiving. But that tree is pre-lit and has both white and colored. We typically in this house will fight. And so you'll go out there and it'll be white lights. And then later on, you'll go out there and it'll be colored.
Oh, so they're the ones where you can control which they
Yes.
put out, the LEDs, the LED
Yes.
lights.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're sort of the same way. I have noticed that starting in 2020, people did start decorating for each holiday a little earlier.
They
So
did, yeah.
we've done a little hybrid of that. We were the same way though. Traditional, it's after Thanksgiving dinner. If you're hosting, the family helps decorate it. If you're going home, that's when you decorate the tree. This year, we decided just the tree was set up when people came over, but I was really like, I don't want mantle lights. I don't want any indoor lights. I want nothing. And then the weekend after, we started the exterior and the mantle and the stockings and everything. Indoor, I've been a white light guy probably for 25 years.
Okay.
Outdoors, I'll rotate. My LEDs are color only. The front's going to be colored lights until those lights no longer work. And then I'll rewire everything with the white lights outside.
So I have a question. So what do you think about these inflatables on people's lawns?
So my question for you was, do you put anything out on the lawn? Are inflatables an option?
Okay. So to answer your question, I for years wanted deer, like the light up deer that I could put because it just looks so cool because I have a lot of green in the front of my house.
That is what I bought when I bought this house almost 20 years ago. It's family of classic wired deer that go out front.
So I had that for a couple of years and I've been asked by my daughter to not do it this year. And I think last year they were struggling. They were struggling deer. We forego them this year. But as far as inflatables go, I don't get it. But the funny thing is I will tell you, icon status is the guy with the Santa that I've seen bigger than his house. Okay. This guy, whoever found the Santa, it's got to be a 50-foot Santa. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Now that I'm 100% support. But all of these random inflatables that when I drive through in the morning look like, a war zone because they're all deflated. I don't understand it. And some of them make no sense. Like, why do we have dragons? What are the dragons for? Do you know? Like Christmas dragons?
Have never heard of that at all. So I would love for you to take a picture and send me that and we'll post it on the website because I am not familiar with the correlation between dragons and the holidays. So if anyone out there is a member of some Dungeons and Dragons type
Christmas club,
club,
holiday,
let us know.
Holiday club, maybe it's another holiday. I don't know. I could see it during like a New Year's or Chinese New Year's or something like that, but I don't understand the dragons. I don't get it.
I have yet to see that. It's funny. My deer, the reindeers, definitely ran their course. You have to stake those things into the ground. Anyone who's had a house that was built in the last 30 years, when they build your house, they scrape off all the topsoil. They hardly leave you any topsoil. Trying to find something where you can put a stake that's more than 3 inches long in the ground to hold these in place. It's not easy. I mean, I've been out there with rubber mallets. My poor son has learned so many new curse words that way when he was younger, watching me try to hammer those things into the ground. And then the second any breeze went by, either my wife or I would yell to the other one, "We got a reindeer down, reindeer down."
Yes, same.
It was like a holiday drive-by, kind of became our running gag. My take on the inflatables, though, is I'm getting soft in my old age because if you would ask me that question 10 years ago, I would have had some really salty, sarcastic response. Being a little dead inside in the past, I would have just blasted anyone that would have done anything like that. I don't see myself buying any inflatables. Now that I'm a papa, if any of my grandchildren said, "Hey, we think you should get a giant inflatable Santa Claus," that would be so cool. My happy ass would order it on the spot.
Of course you would. Yeah, that makes total sense. I love that. And that kind of goes into a lot of the things that you and I talk about as you age, your views on things really do change. So I think that's sweet.
Well, a lot has happened since we recorded that episode of Butler Podcast discussing our preferences in lawn decorations for the holidays. I was pleasantly surprised in November when a gift appeared on my doorstep. As I excitedly opened the package, I discovered a 13-foot inflatable dinosaur adorned in holiday attire. Well, who sent me this unexpected and hilarious monstrosity, I asked myself. The answer was revealed in an enclosed note. Your grandchildren look forward to seeing this prehistoric holiday treasure proudly inflated on your front lawn. My daughter remembered last year's Bubbler holiday episode and seized the opportunity to have a little fun at my expense. I'm happy to report that I've spent hours this season maneuvering and sheltering my Tyrannosaurus terror from high winds and curious woodland creatures, laughing the entire time at her hilarious gag gift. I later learned from my son that I nearly received Santa's humongous monster truck instead. But I'm grateful to have Dino, all 13 feet of his glory, proudly displayed in my front yard. I also look forward to the battles ahead as our new tradition of gifting obnoxious lawn ornaments carries on. So happy holidays from all of us at HR After Hours and Bubbler Podcast. Cheers!